Start recording button, and
Come on, Genus and load.
now we should be on.
That's
We are.
Well, that's I'm checking on my end. There we are. Aha.
Why were you for a second? That was super weird. You were moving and I wasn't moving on the actual
Okay, there we are.
delayed part.
And then we have chat.
Welcome back to our live stream. Let us know how we're looking, how we're sounding, as always. And we've got some exciting news for later on today. We're going to be doing a second stream, 2 streams in one day. And
You have to make up for the fact that even though we've been on at 8:45 a.m. every day, you guys haven't seen us.
Exactly.
Every Sunday. Hey, fresh county ales.
What's up? As we always start off, we're going to start off with some Genus Brewing news. Genus Brewing news is we've got 3 new beers on, actually.
Ooh, what beers?
So one beer that we just made that is not currently on yet, but that is our Valley Cup beer. That's going to be the Blueberry Sour IPA. Might not be sour. It's not soured anymore. The original version was, and this one isn't. Milkshake IPA.
Okay, and what is the Valley Cup?
Valley Cup is all the Valley breweries are coming together and doing a Valley, style beer competition where you choose a new kind of
7 breweries?
7 sounds about right. Yeah.
Nope. V-Twin's is not part of it.
I think they were 8. So it was 8 and now it's 7.
No, because originally it was Snow Eater was 8.
Oh, okay. Wow,
So
somewhere between 6 and 7.
Badass.
Yeah.
No Drought. Yaya. Nat 20. You guys.
Badass, No Drought, Nat 20. Us. TTs.
TTs. That's the 6. Yeah. And there's because
Is there another one?
yeah, because then the other 2 were V-Twin and Snow Eater, and I don't know if Snow Eater's joined back up with everything that's going on there.
Yeah.
And sadly, V-Twin is shutting down.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard out here for a pimp, That's what it is.
Yep. But yeah. And so what is this Valley? What did Natural 20, who won the last Valley Cup, select for this one?
So this Valley Cup is going to be it's going to be a colored beer theme, which is really cool because we already had planned on doing a really colorful beer.
Yeah.
And we get to kind of do a precursor to that before we actually do the beer that we are going to do originally with the Las Vegas beer. By the way, state beer is still happening, but might be delayed, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
We're doing colored beers, and so our submission is going to be a Blueberry Milkshake IPA,
which does sound amazing.
And it's going to be blue. Very blue.
I'm hoping that this one's actually blue compared to the last one, which was supposed to be purple instead of gray.
Yeah, this one's very blue.
Okay. And good morning, everyone. Good
morning.
In other Spokane Brewing news, the Lester Cup, which is what the Valley Cup was inspired by.
Yeah, that's what we copied.
Yeah, and they, the Lester Cup people, strongly encouraged this. They actually were over the moon that it was copied.
Yeah, no,
they absolutely love this.
It's a collaboration between breweries. It's just it's gonna help. It's gonna help everyone.
It's
succeed.
a collaborative competition.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys are either a part of any breweries or are friends of any of your brewers, I recommend it.
Yeah.
And just so what you understand what this cup is we do it twice a year, and so does the Lester Cup. And it is the winning brewery gets to choose whatever the next category, theme, restriction, whatever is. And the goal is you go around, people go around and vote at each of the or go to each of the breweries, try the beer, and then they vote for their favorite beer.
Yeah.
So it, first of all, encourages people to go visit all these amazing, awesome local breweries.
Yep.
And then, and it's actually fun because I know that in the past I've legitimately just accidentally run into brewers and then wandered around with them as we all go try the beers together.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then, for the Lester Cup, Grange had just won for their first time.
Nice.
Yeah. Or maybe second time. But they're, yeah.
I did not get to try this last round of Leicester Cup stuff, but I definitely want to.
The last round of Leicester was they threw darts at a dartboard for the 6 specialty IPAs.
Yes, and so that's gonna be black IPA, white IPA, hazy, West Coast.
Nope. Hazy and West Coast are out.
They're out. Okay, all the specialties.
Yeah.
So black, white, red,
Rye.
I
think cold
IPA, which we are making one of those begrudgingly, but it's gonna be a good beer, but I still hate the nomenclature.
Nope. It was not cold. Belgian and brown.
Okay.
Because even though I think white and Belgian oftentimes are the same, but I know they're different.
Yeah. White IPA is basically just a Belgian IPA that's got coriander and spices.
Yep.
Heyo, Frazzle Penguin, what's up?
Yeah, I was gonna say everyone.
Why begrudgingly? Okay, so cold IPA, don't get me wrong, I think the beer itself is going to be good, and I love making the beer itself, but I hate marketing it as a cold IPA. That marketing just still doesn't sit right with me, and so...
I was going to say, I much rather make a straight up IPL.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But that's... I was going to say, in all the cold IPAs I've had, there's been some really good ones. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I'm not a fan of the style. It's just the marketing. Exactly.
Yeah, the style thing I think is fine. I think that's also the way that we are going with IPAs and beer in general. It's lighter. It's less of the flavors. The one that we're doing right now actually is going to be a thiolized. We're using a thiolized lager yeast.
Spoilers for later.
Spoilers, by the way. Tonight, we're going to be talking. We're doing
in an hour, in 12 hours.
12 hours, yeah. We're going to be talking about all the thiolized stuff that's going on, and we're going to be doing a second live stream, and my brain just went blank for a second.
With Adam Makes Beer.
We're going to do a second live stream tonight at 8:45 p.m. and
Pacific time.
So wherever
I don't
you
know.
are.
I don't know if we're in standard or regular Pacific time because I hate daylight savings.
Yeah, we just had daylight savings this morning. This morning's been it's kind of thrown me for a loop. If I'm being candid, but yeah, we're gonna be talking all about thiolized yeast, and you should tune in if you're still awake.
Yeah, and then in other just general brewing news, yes, I did mention we're losing V-Twin, sadly. We're also losing Common Language.
We're losing Common Language. Something's happening with River City. I don't know what's going on with River City, but something's happening with River City.
But in good news, there is going to be another brewery / homebrew shop supposedly opening up downtown Spokane.
Yeah, Spokane Brew Spot. Are they still calling it that? Or are they gonna?
I have no clue what Aaron's calling it.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna.
I have not actually even paid attention to that because. Actually, I think I followed it on Instagram.
Okay.
There's a specific name.
It's a new name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember.
We'll let you guys know. But there's a lot of people that live on the north side or live downtown or South Hill that don't like coming all the way out to the valley. That
need access to homebrew stuff, which is great. And honestly, the fact that we have a homebrew shop in Post Falls, a homebrew shop in the valley, and a homebrew shop that's going to be downtown is great because they're about the same distance between all of them, and
they're showing the strength of the Spokane homebrew community.
Yeah. So,
Justin Light, you got favorite yeast for NEPA, for New England IPA? Honestly, my favorite yeast for New England IPA is the Fuller strain, London ESB in Y yeast, Pub in Imperial. I have no idea what it is in other
I also
things.
don't mind Juicy in a New England. I think I'd much rather do Pub personally as well, but Juicy is also a good option. And then I've seen some, and again, we'll talk about this later tonight, but some of the new thiolized yeast strands can be really cool, and especially since...
And there's fun ways to play with those, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. JYRI said Verdant, which is also, in terms of dry yeast, is probably my favorite dry yeast to use for a New England IPA. Verdant's great. And Verdant does 2 different types of biotransformation, too, which is one of the reasons why it's great. Again, precursor leading into the thiol content that we're going to be posting tonight or doing tonight.
Yeah, and also to answer Fresh Country Ale's question earlier, my week's been great. I have a puppy at my house.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. My almost 3-year-old dog is very, very tired and kind of half annoyed with the situation.
Doggone it.
And there is a picture of the puppy in the Discord under brewery mascots.
Yeah. Perfect.
And Moose, short for white chocolate mousse.
Yeah. We got a what breed? I don't know. That's what you're going into.
Yeah, that's she is the only part we know is husky.
Okay.
There is supposedly some shepherd. Oh yeah, I can.
You can show it. It's a beautiful dog. It's got those glaring husky eyes, which is what we love. This is this is the third or fourth time using it, and it rocks. Verdant is great. Verdant is one of those yeast that just
we're seeing if this works.
It should automatically focus on it, so yeah, I think it will.
A little bit, but it's not really the light.
Yeah, the glare from the windows. Yeah,
Yep.
It's gonna do that.
And who makes Verdant?
Verdant is done by Lallemand. It's a Lallemand dry yeast, and if you watch our every Lallemand yeast and what they're used for, you'll see me talk high praise about Verdant. Verdant is, if I'm going to use a dry yeast for a New England IPA, that's the one that I'm going to use.
Patrick, we've been live for about 10 minutes. You're late.
Yep. Do you all just start? No. But we're back on for the first time in like a month, so
I know. It actually kind of feels nice.
It does, yeah.
I was gonna say I miss seeing Peter's beautiful face in person.
Oh, thanks. That I guess can lead into why we haven't been on in a month.
Yeah.
So, by the way, for you guys out there, I am currently student teaching. I just got into the student teaching portion of my newest degree that I'm getting, which is a math for secondary education degree, and so I've got 4 months of student teaching to do, which started a little bit over a month ago, so a little bit less than 3 months left to go. And that means that on top of having a full-time job and coaching and still trying to see my family every once in a while, I have a 40-hour job that I don't get paid for. So that's the gist of why we haven't been on. I've been super, super, super busy, and I'm trying to keep up as much as I can, but it's very taxing taking on student teaching on top of trying to do everything else that I do.
And I have been taking the month to focus on myself.
Self-improvement.
Self-improvement. I've actually been working on writing a novel on my spare time.
Nice.
So instead of coming here on Sundays, I've just gone to downtown Spokane and hung out at Revival Tea, which is the best tea shop that's built in a former speakeasy.
No, nice.
And it honestly feels like I'm sitting in a brewery.
Yeah, Fresh Country says also it looks like you guys have aged. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah,
I probably have. Yeah. The stress levels are high with everything that I'm doing right now. Patrick Sandy says no. Yeah, you run a business? Yeah, a little bit sometimes. Stephen Platt says so. Job number 19. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. No. Peter makes sure that his employees haven't burnt down the business.
Yes.
That's really what it comes down to.
Honestly, there's times that I have to work other jobs to make sure I have money to pay the people that work here. Yep. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's not comfortable, but it's, I want to make sure that the people here never have to think about, whether or not they're going to have job security.
And luckily we have an awesome crew here.
Yeah,
that
for sure.
Bend over backwards to make sure that this place runs smoothly when Peter is stressed.
Yeah. Gnome says, James, sweet, I don't know how you got such a high-res version of my logo, but it came out awesome.
Oh, they're talking about a shirt, I think.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yep.
It's awesome. Speaking of shirts, the Teespring below this video has some new stuff on it. Thank you, Shay, for putting that together. Shay put some new shirts.
I shouldn't, because I already have too many Genus shirts.
They're really cool, though. They're really cool.
I really should look at them, but I don't want to because I know I'll buy them.
Right. The biggest reason for this live stream, though, was just to tell you guys how things have happened in the last month. We are still doing the state beer competition thing, but the state beers are going to be probably not every month, just because of how busy we got.
Yep, and just the fact that life just happened, and
life happens.
And honestly, and I'm going to take blame for this, I probably pushed Peter into it a little bit too fast.
a little too quick.
Forgetting how busy Peter gets.
Yeah.
I got excited, and
I also forget how busy I get. I do the same thing all the time where I just, I take on new responsibilities and I'm like, oh wow, I've got other responsibilities to do. And that's never going to stop. It's part of my personality, and that's part of why I know so much, because I always do things. I do new things all the time, and so I've gained a lot of skills because I'm always, I'm an active body. I'm a busybody. But at the same time, that also makes me less reliable and less consistent than I want to be, especially when it comes to the YouTube stuff.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to announce that I'm going to probably towards the end of this month start brewing some sour beers. And like true sours, I'm going to mix and stuff.
Blended sours
and do that. Partially because I'm still not drinking, which has been great for my mental health. With all the family stress that's been going on, and then a new puppy on top of that.
Yep.
And I figured, I was like, I want to make beer, but I don't want to drink it right away. So I was like, I can make sours and wait on it for 6 months to a year.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's going to happen, and which means I might be begging Peter to buy some weird,
fine
sour products for me.
Yep, totally fine. I do that frequently. Dustin Light says, I use Nottingham, that Irish red, after watching the Lallman video. It is fermenting under 10 psi and has 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's great. Nice. Awesome. Nottingham is an OG, and it's one of the not normal OGs. You've got USO5, that same strain, Chico strain, is everywhere. It's in every single yeast company. Nottingham is one of the ones it's not. But it's still a good OG. So yeah, I'm glad you used it and liked it.
Also, if you guys do have any questions, since we are going to be doing probably a longer, more in-depth live stream later. Well, we are going to be doing a longer, more in-depth live stream later tonight. Just feel free to ask some just general questions. And then get your thiolized yeast questions either to me in Discord, so that way I can review them, or prepare them for the live stream. I don't know how much we'll pull from the chat.
Right.
Since after watching the Hoppy Hour, I know Adam had some difficulties with the chat there, and I just want to make sure that we create as easy an experience for him as possible.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, if you got questions on the on thiols, what thiols are, thiolized yeast, how those are made, what they do, what the purpose of them is, what that means. Are there yeasts previously that are already yeasts that do the same things? Put those either in here or on the Discord chat, or just send them to us over Facebook or something like that. Let us know.
Or those of you who have all decided, like a bunch of you who have decided to follow me.
Yeah.
Which I did private my Instagram for a little bit, just so I could deal some stuff. I'll probably turn it on in a little while. Not today, but down the road. But those of you who have already followed me, you can send it to me there as well.
Yeah, send questions. But yeah, tonight's live stream at 8:45 is going to be very, very hopefully heavy with information on thiolized yeast and thiols in general.
I was gonna say the raspberry sour candy beer that Frazzle Penguin did sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Send
us one.
Yep, and then
or drive down to Spokane and just give us all your beer.
Yep. Steve,
I have no idea where in Canada you are, but I know you're somewhere above us.
Yep. Steven asks, what brews are coming up next and excited about besides the sours?
We've got the Blueberry Milkshake IPA. There's also a new iteration of Coffee Kolsch going in right now, and we did a Dunkelweizen too. So Dunkelweizen is like one of those ones that it's not everyone wants a Dunkelweizen. Dunkelweizen isn't an asked for style, but when it comes to like making a Dunkelweizen, if you make a good Dunkelweizen, everyone's gonna like it.
I ask for. Well, I'm not everyone.
You're not everyone.
Yeah. I am. I'm weird. I drink a lot of out there beer styles when I do drink.
A good Dunkelweizen though, it's one of those ones. Like, if you get a
Bellwether did an amazing one.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
Yeah.
If you get a good one, it's really good. It's if you have a regular Dunkelweizen or whatever Dunkelweizen, then it's probably gonna take a long time to get off tap. But if you do it right, it's gonna be that one beer that people are like, I've never heard of that. What is that? And then they try it and they're like, I want a lot of that.
Yeah. I am. Once I get the sours kind of started and going, Steven, I'm probably going to, since I am I've stepped away from professional brewing because I was juggling too many plates.
Yeah.
And I have decided that knowing my own mental health and myself, I can't do it as a part-time gig. I would need to do it full-time. So I am going to start focusing on developing my homebrew recipes. And I've redone a couple of them on a live stream a couple weeks ago on my personal Twitch channel.
Yep.
But it's going to be more of just doing that and really like dialing in my flavors and my recipes.
Yep.
And that also includes me doing trying to brew some beers to style because that's not something I do very well. So
Patrick Sandy definitely hit the nail on the head when he said us ADH folks have get excited and into stuff fast. Yeah, that's me. That's my brain.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's one of the problems is both me and Peter are ADHD.
Yeah, so we want to do a lot of stuff, and then we're, He also said, I'll trade you my house repair issues.
Oh, yeah, no, he's posted pictures in Discord.
It's
a
lot of it. Unmusical. What's your end goal with the math teaching degree? Good luck with it. Thank you. I appreciate that. End goal with the math teaching degree, I don't know for sure. I might actually become a teacher and teach math for a while. I got a teaching degree specifically because I coach, and I want to also be able to be the best coach that I can be, which sometimes means teaching and building. And so that might be what I do. But I also already have plans to start another degree after I get that degree.
You just like being in school.
I do. I like educating myself. That's something that I do a lot.
Ask Corb in the boil.
Yeah.
Patrick, you know the answer to that already.
We probably do. I do Ask Corb and mash. That's what I do. In the boil, I think that it doesn't have time to do the things that it does in the mash. So in between, if you're doing it in mash, you're going to get a lot of precursors that are also, antioxidant related. In the boil, it's probably going to degrade, and then you got in fermentation, which is where it's going to be more stable. So,
and then Frazzled said he's almost dead center of Canada.
Dead center of Canada. Okay, so not right above us.
And then Socks and Goblin, I am so sorry to hear that your mixed firm sour did not carbonate, but I'm going to still wish it good luck. And also, I think mixed firm in BJCP is one of the styles that's okay not having it as carbonated.
Yes, for sure.
So you might be okay there. I am not a BJCP judge or have gone through any of that training.
I am not anymore, but actually at one point I was.
Mm-hmm. That's part of the problem is Spokane doesn't have enough competitions for judging for us to be able to have consistent judges over here.
Yeah, for sure. And even though my palate has been trained to judge, it's not something that I currently do, and there's not a lot of people like me that have gone through all the training to be able to make that a thing, honestly.
Daniel says, heck yeah, I need, Gnome asked, did you add a little bit of fresh heat at bottling to Socks and Goblins? That is a good question, especially for the mixed firm. Mm-hmm. And then Daniel said, I need to remake my Dunkelweizen, given the fact that I've enjoyed every single one of Daniel's beers that he has sent us. Yeah,
and that one got me my first gold medal. Congratulations on that. And Dunkelweizen, when they're done well, they're really, really good beers. So, yeah, you need to that for sure, and send us some.
Yep. In a Dunkel, where would you push esters, phenols, banana, clove, or is it in the middle?
So I hate over clovey Dunkelweizens. Personally,
or
I just don't like them.
Any Weizens. Like I much rather have, like even on a Dunkelweizen, I want more of that banana. Mm-hmm. Especially. I think a Dunkelweizen because there is going to be that kind of roasty, almost chocolatey notes. So we all know that chocolate-covered bananas are amazing. Right.
So, yeah, you want to get rid of that. The clovey kind of ends up weighing it down and making like a weird kind of flavor. And so you want to push that towards the banana part a lot and hopefully eliminate all the clovey phenol parts. So Bonanza, actually one of the is that Omega? That's Omega, right?
Yeah.
That Bonanza would be probably a really, really good candidate for that. And then if you want clovey flavors, just add them. If you want phenol flavors, add peppercorns. That's the way to do it.
Yep. And then Dustin says we have a local brewery that leans into the traditional German styles in their Dunkels. Fantastic. We're awesome that we have 1.5 local breweries that are very German inspired.
Yeah.
I say half because Whistlepunk is definitely more of a Czech inspired brewery than a German.
Yeah.
They still count in my book, but yeah, No Drought and Whistlepunk both do amazing German style beers, and actually the best Dunkelweizen I had was not even from either of them. It was from Bellwether, which does more ancient style beers.
Yeah. Noam says, I really don't know how you fit it all in, Peter. I don't have a family or a business, and I feel like I have no time. Props, dude. Thanks. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I probably shouldn't. I don't know. I sleep 4 hours a night, and I probably shouldn't do everything that I do, but I don't know. I do. Yep. Adam says, school lifers will never understand them, and I'm a teacher. That's understandable.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
As I'm the guy who can't stand school but should probably go back.
Jimmy, my Dunkelweizen.
I remember that Dunkelweizen.
Really good. And that was pre-COVID. Send me one. Frazzle. Oh, hey, Peter, I picked up a cannular manual from a friend and never got it set up right. I couldn't find any info on how to get the spacing for the 433 ml cans. Your vid about that worked 100%. Nice.
Hey, I was going to say, every once in a while our videos hit.
Yeah.
Peter, the professional student.
That's about right. Like, my attention had been super far from... Like you, my attention had been super far from brewing. Yeah.
Hey, Frazzle Penguin, best of luck on the BJCP exam.
Yeah.
And then there's a section in the BJCP guidelines that, and I know Brewlosophy talked about this in their opinions episode, but it's like, these are guidelines.
Yeah.
These are not the live by die hard. This is just a understanding of what the beer, when you describe the beer to the average customer, which is, this is what they should expect.
Yeah.
Is that if they say, hey, this is a Hefeweizen, does it have to meet the criteria exactly? No, in my personal opinion, but that's also how we kind of judge, and also give someone a base to go on there. So it's a good tool.
Very good tool.
But we don't need to be out on a high horse about it.
Exactly. It's a very good set of knowledge to know, but I've gotten a lot better as a brewer breaking from all that. That's why I don't continue to renew my BJCP certification or, try to re-get a new one, because I like to explore outside of it. But I'm a much better brewer and beer taster because I did that. So
yeah, and that's the main reason I would want to go through it myself, is first of all to help the homebrew community grow again, and grow more, and then also become a better brewer, because I used to be Peter can attest this. My philosophy was I hate style.
Yeah.
I now absolutely appreciate style for what it is, especially having worked at a traditional German style brewery.
Yeah.
There's a lot I can learn, and honestly, I think it can make better beer once I really figure out what the parameters of a style is before I start kicking down walls.
Yeah, and also knowing that you can make something in style before you make something out of style, I think it's just, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, that's one reason I want to focus on making some beers to style.
Yeah.
Especially since I have a feeling like the Hefeweizen in the back of my mind is just scratching like crazy. It's like, it's there. I know I can make a great Hefeweizen.
No, Adam says, Peter, be careful. My bro is finally ahead of math after 20 years. Lots of freshman algebra and geometry to push his dues. So there's a lot of people that are in so I'm student teacher right now, and I have an Algebra 1 class and an Algebra 2 class, and there's definitely a discrepancy between how many people try in the Algebra 2 class versus how many people try in the Algebra 1 class. The Algebra 1 class is like, you might have gotten there because you were recommended by middle school. You also might have gotten there because it's the only thing you can do, and you just might not care about doing math at all. It's very tough. And a lot of students have the talent to be able to do the math. It's just about how to reach them in a way that makes them want to do it and want to learn it. It's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah, no, I as my dad, who used to be the chair of the engineering department out at Eastern, that is 100%, because he taught classes where, oh, this is a required, like, this meets a requirement for all the pre-med students.
Yeah.
So none of them are going into engineering. And then,
Distant Light, don't forget to like the video, folks. That's 100% true. If
Thank
you
you.
thumbs up this video, then we will give you $1 if you ask us for it in person.
after buying
a beer, yeah.
2 beers.
2 beers, and then we will give you $1. But also, just like the video because
Yep.
we said so.
And thank you for reminding me to like the video.
Yeah.
Where Gnome was in Tampa, we had an amazing Czech lager.
And you didn't tell us about it and send us one? Dang it.
Oh, I think that was the trip with CH.
Yeah.
Yeah, which those pictures looked like a blast.
I
Like-
wanted to go, but I'm also doing a lot of new stuff right now, so I couldn't. But it sounded really fun, and I wish I could have
Also,
gone.
you need to spend time with your wife every once in a while.
I know. I've been trying to, like, that's been a goal of mine
know.
this last couple, and these last couple weekends I have, because
Yeah.
my week days, Monday through Friday, have been booked. Like, I wake up at 4 in the morning. I get here by like 4:30 to 5 in the morning. I do 2 to 3 hours of work here, and then I go straight to student teaching, go straight from student teaching to coaching over at Ridgeline, and then go from coaching at Ridgeline back to here.
Where are you student teaching?
Shadle.
Okay.
So Shadle is like, yeah, center of the city.
Yeah, I know where Shadle is.
But it's like a half-hour drive.
I was just trying to remember if one of my friends teaches. I have a lot of teacher friends.
Yeah, I mean, teaching's it's a good profession.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in my life that actually teach. So
Yeah, I was gonna say
I know a
it's-
lot of teachers.
I work at a summer camp for gifted middle school and high school students,
Yeah.
so I am like one of the few counselors that isn't a teacher.
Right.
Like, there. And actually, I'm gonna ask, since we're just kind of BSing, since I'm gonna be doing sours, throw into the chat what your guys' favorite like souring products that we can buy. Ours, and then I will just tell Peter to order them.
Yeah, kettle sour or long-term sours.
No, I'm doing long-term mix firm.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, but
Yeah.
for them, just like
Yeah.
let's get a conversation going of like what their
And then,
could be kettle sour style things that they want to do.
For our birthday stream, let's just do a sour stream and like.
Sounds great.
And then like.
Yeah, totally in.
Yep. I was gonna say actually that may be just a hey Peter, come over to my house and we'll live stream from my house and blend at my house.
Yeah. By the way, we were born similarly.
Like we are a year and like 7 days apart.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like our birthday stream.
Yeah.
And my mom will make us cake.
Nice. I love it. Patrick Sandy, if you fly me out, I would definitely buy a beer or 3. I mean, I can't say that I have the money to fly you out, but
I know I don't have, because I'm already trying to figure out how to fly out to my cousin's wedding in DC this year.
But I'll support you flying out, and I will give you free beer in exchange for beer. And
also, this fall, if someone's wife says yes, he may be coming to visit.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and their initials are AC.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I don't know if Peter's tried your tree beer yet.
No, we're going to make a separate video on that. Because we got our own tree beer, and we wanted to do tree beer and tree beer. Yours and mine are the only tree beers that we've got one other submitted tree beer. But yours, that other submitted one, and my tree beer, that's going to be a whole video by itself.
And that might be next month.
Yeah, when it comes out.
Yep. I was going to say, Adam, I have no clue who that AC guy is.
Yeah, no
I
idea.
was going to say, not a guy that I have to text to remind about the live streams.
Yeah, and I have no idea like who even has the initials AC.
Yep.
Personally, nobody that I've thought about.
Jeff asked, when will you start teaching kids about making beer? It's all math, right?
I mean, that's not wrong.
I was going to say, technically all sciences is math.
I teach my kids about making beer, the ones that I own. The kids that
You own your kids?
I do own my kids. Yeah, I own them. Yeah, I can make them do labor for free, so I own them. But yeah, the kids that I teach, I don't tell them my beer side of my personality.
Daniel, the R kid's still into the trying isn't cool mentality. So smart kids or gifted students, there is one of two things that happens. They're either complete and total tryhards and overwork themselves to death, or because they find it easy, they completely check out. I am the second.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids that are the second. So I have one kid that he's like his whole goal on like he's an A student that has a C in my class right now, right?
Let me guess, he doesn't turn in homework.
We don't have homework. It's all tests.
Oh,
but his goal on tests isn't to do everything right on the test. His goal on tests is to give the right answer with as little possible work shown. So, that's the example of like I want everyone to know that I'm smart without putting in the work. That's the definition of that.
Yeah. So when I was in school, I showed it through. Why do I have to turn in this homework when I could just prove it to you on a test? Mm-hmm. So I was kind
of that same way.
So routinely,
when we went to school, homework was a big part of the thing. Yeah. Homework, by the way, in the high school realm right now, homework is like people are saying don't give kids homework. That's the newest thing in the high school world.
Which, I'm not.
I would have been a straight A student if I didn't get homework.
The kids already have too much going on in their lives.
To
do homework on top of studying.
It makes a lot of sense, but also there's also kids that like could be straight A students that because they don't have homework, they also just are never going to practice, never going to learn, they're never going to grow. So I don't know. It's weird. I've got pluses and minuses for both kind of styles, but.
Yep, and then Sox Galvin says built a culture. I built a blend of softer lactose and that's I'm assuming the sour stuff, which is awesome. Paulina, how do I lower my predicted final gravity?
So 2 ways. Pamela Huckala.
Yep.
That's
actually a fun name.
It is. She came in one time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But
I'm sad I missed her.
Yeah, she's super dope. But there's 2 ways to do that. One is to adjust your mash temperature. So if you have a ramped mash, if you start at, let's say 142 and then ramp up to 170, you're going to get all the enzyme activation that is in your grains during that. Or if you just do a single infusion mash, there's also enzymes that you can add. Brutzyme or Amylex 4T or OptiMash are all enzymes that will help make sure that you break down the starchy stuff that makes your beer thicker. So lowering your final gravity happens when you make your sugars more accessible. You can also pick your yeast to do that, but I would say your mash is your first step to doing that and the more important step.
Yeah. Riv Rivera, awesome seeing you as well.
Yeah.
Sean,
I still have one of Riv's drawing beer labels.
Oh, there. Nice. Sean, I love trains, like riding trains. Like when I was in college, I used to take the train back to Spokane all the time.
Wow.
And stuff. So yeah, it's actually really cost effective. The only non-cost effective part of it is time.
Yeah, if the USA had more trains, we'd be a lot better off.
If we had some bullet train or speed trains and bullet trains, especially like we would need West Coast and then actually Seattle to Chicago. Because that's pretty much a straight shot.
Yeah, we'd be a lot better off if we had trains, but we're
automotive industry.
Yeah, we're too lobbied towards the big oil in the automotive industry to make that happen.
And Patrick, my wife says the cost-benefit analysis on my idea of you flying me out there doesn't make any sense. Tell her she's a party pooper.
Yeah, that does sound like a negative.
Yeah.
I would just say that she's wrong for sure.
River Vera is brewing a Mexican lager. Ooh, sounds great.
Yeah. Send us some.
Yep. A fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Same way in biology, homework was 8% and test was 98%. Yeah, I do think that there probably is a balance between homework and there.
I'm of the personal opinion, like, so I obviously I'm back in school now. I'm still going to school. I've actually been going to school for the last forever. But yeah, I've learned as an adult that I'm a very different student than I was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was all about like proving that I'm smart without doing any work. So like the lazy smart kind of person, that was like my identity, and it's a big part of what I did. And as an adult, I really am just like excited about learning stuff. And so I've
actually gone way better at learning stuff as an adult, and actually as I just understand my brain better.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of it.
Now I'll do boring homework just because I'm like, I either want to learn this if I need to learn this, or I just want to do it because it's still fun to do. And, I put in the work, and just, if I already know it and I'm not learning anything, at least I can prove that that I know it, right?
Yep.
That's kind of my mindset.
Adam says, mash at 145, pitch a ton of yeast, wait too long, and you'll blow past your FG like Weiser at the crystal malt selection of the homebrew shop. Yeah, I do. I use, actually, that was part of the thing when I was rebuilding some recipes. I was like, why the F am I using crystal malt in this? Why did Peter not talk me out of this originally?
Yeah, crystal malt isn't real. Just get rid of it. Todd Porter, that kid was me. I wait until the end of my period to even look at a math test and answer everything correctly and get a 50. Yeah.
I'm gonna say so originally I was going to go into math for secondary education.
Yeah,
was my original, and then in college in honors math, I had a teacher that had a 3-question test that took me 3 hours.
Yeah,
that was our final, and then immediately I was like, I am done with math because this is stupid.
I had a friend that had a test like that, and it was
and I was one of the first 3 done at 3 hours.
At 3 hours, yeah. Was it linear? So it's basically a logics test when it's linear.
I don't remember. It was calculus.
Okay. So. When you get into linear and you get into like logics, it's basically like you've got to prove that this equals this, and so like one problem could last you an hour. I had a roommate.
It was just she was the wife of the chair of the math department. That's the only reason she had a job, and so she was terrible at it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
The whole out of the dozen of us that were in the honors math, all of us dropped our math majors.
Okay.
That's how bad.
Yeah. It's not a good sign.
Yep. And Sean, when you say Sac, are you talking about Sacramento? Because I actually still has one of my favorite restaurants. As my grandparents used to live there. Actually, my grandmother used to work at the California State Capitol.
Yeah. Could fermenting in a PET container versus fermenting in a stainless affect the flavor of the beer? Theoretically, yes, but practically, no.
Long term, yes.
Yeah.
Short term, no.
Yeah.
But when I say long term, I'm talking about batch after batch after batch after batch after batch on the same PET. Eventually, the PET is going to break down a little. But that's going to be way down the road. We're talking probably over 100 batches.
Yeah, it's a lot of batches. So I mean, there acidity, temperature regulation, stuff like that. That can definitely affect PET, and so there could be scratches that happen internally, or some breakdown that happens internally,
especially with your cleaning practices.
Yeah,
because you want clean and stuff. So
yeah. Also, if you do like a long-term, aged beer in a PET container, there is a very, very, very low level of oxygen ingress that can take place over, let's say, like 3 or 4 months with a single batch of beer. But practically for a brand new container, it's not going to be a huge difference for the most part.
Awesome. And then hope so. Last time I took the train, stuck for hours, and they put us on a bus to Spokane the rest of the way.
Next time you get stuck on a bus to Spokane, just bring us a lot of cider.
Yep. Or I was going to say, or message one of us, and if I'm free, I'll totally meet you wherever, and then just brewery hop our way back.
Hell yeah.
And then Daniel said, "Oh, by the way, I met some people last week who are trying to visit every Washington brewery. That is a mighty goal, especially with Wobble not doing any events this year."
Yeah. But they already mentioned Genus, and they already knew about Castamutra and loved it. Nice.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Patrick says crystal malts are for English ales. I can, there are certain styles where crystal, yes, we harp on, it is kind of a little bit of our gimmick is to harp on crystal malts. I do agree that they are overused.
Yeah, 100%. They're overused, but I mean, they have their purposes. If you're doing a steam beer, if you're doing a California Common, you kind of need a crystal malt.
Yeah.
A lot of porters can benefit from a crystal malt because they've got that mid-range flavor. A lot of English ales can use crystal malt.
Yeah,
it's totally fine.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the amount of and just glancing through like what recipes are being built here, the amount of people that throw crystal just like into an IPA, it's like, what?
Yeah. The reason that we're so against it is because of how overused it is and how many people come in and, they'll make recipes thinking that that recipe needs to be 10 pounds of base malt, 2 pounds of crystal malt, and then I've got my base. Like, no.
I also haven't updated or posted the bingo sheet in forever.
Oh yeah, me neither.
I was gonna say that might be that might be something that eventually I go through and update the bingo sheet, since obviously I am now the co-host.
Yeah. Adam says I use 0 crystal malt in his steam and it tasted exactly like Anchor. Nice, yeah. Better brewers should get used to not using crystal malt. Like, if you want to improve, if you want to prove your skills, make beers without crystal malt. That's 100% right.
And Sean, I'm just gonna say my favorite restaurant, which I still think exists, is the Fox and Goose in Sacramento.
Adam says full disclosure, there was victory in there. And I still liked it. Dang it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hate victory.
But yeah, no, it's I was gonna say there's ways to get the flavors, which is what and that's our big thing, is how to educate. Special B, I like the Special B, Special X, like this, all those special ones.
Yeah. Sean says my dad picked up some brew equipment and that I'm having issues figuring out what it is and how to use it. Pick on your Instagram. Okay, I'll take a look. Yeah, I'm not always super good at being on all that stuff, but yeah, I'll take a look.
I was gonna say, actually, since I'm still technically, the amount of logins for the unofficial employee of Genus that I have is absolutely. I am.
Frazzle says I use Red X. Frazzle says I use Special B in my Irish Red. Yeah, Special B is great. Special X is another great option. It's in that same 120.
So it says, what is this equipment used for?
So Sean, that equipment is, it looks like a mash tun at first glance. I don't know what that's a work grant. On the bottom image is a work grant.
So and that's the second, so those two are the same.
Yeah. The bottom two is that sounds like a place that you're going to send let your wort drain into that you can use to pump into other vessels, either back into your mash tun into a kettle. You can use that to filter out sediment. You can use that to infuse new flavors. But yeah, that's just a place to pool wort so that your pump is better at pushing it to whatever the next place is. That's what that is.
Okay. I'm going to, sorry Pamela, we'll get back to your question in one moment. Excuse me just said, I'm in school for brewing and they showed us one of your videos in class, Brewhouse Efficiency 101 and how to maximize efficiency.
Nice.
What school are you going to? Like,
I'd love to know. I'd love to know that.
Also, because we, one of the things that we're talking about, and tonight's stream is going to be a test, is trying to get some more experts on.
Yeah.
Because obviously Peter is busy and knows a little bit about a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I am still even though I've been home brewing for a long time, I am the noob home brewer and stuff. So if we can get experts on where I can ask questions.
Yeah.
There is great there. So that would be like getting educators and stuff on as well. It would be awesome, and especially if they're already showing our videos.
I would love to know where that came from.
Yep. And then Pamela asked, how long do hot pellets keep in an open bag? Said bag sealed with a Ziploc style enclosure.
Good question. The colder they are, the longer they'll keep. And also if they're kept in an isolated situation where there's not let's say your freezer has fish in it that gets warm and cold and smells like fish, that flavor will go into your hops. But if it's just a freezer that's just got hops in it, their flavor will last a long time. In a freezer, in an open bag, if that freezer is sub 30 degree Fahrenheit, then those hops will keep for a long time. Yeah. Like years long. But if it's in a refrigerated environment, even at like 35, that year in an open environment turns into like a month. And then obviously at room temperature, that happens pretty fast. It's a days that they will degrade if they're in an open environment.
And then what you can do is actually just put the hops into like an open container in an area. let them kind of cheesify, and then throw them into a sour.
Yeah, make a lambic. That's what oxidized hops are good for. Is lambic.
That's actually what I'm looking at doing with some of, because I still have a bunch of random hops you gave me because you're just like, these are going to go bad soon, and then I never made a beer of them. So,
Frazzle Penguin says, I can't seem to get Special X here. Send me a message. I can't guarantee how cheap the shipping will be, but I've shipped to Canada before, so I could probably ship you some Special X if you want to try some for a thing.
And then Adam says, sounds like you'll need an NIL deal.
We just got a notification from YouTube. Now would be a good time to insert ads. Creators are making more money using inserting ads when more viewers are watching. Give it a try. No.
Nope. And then I know Peter's done a Solara beer.
Yeah.
I personally haven't. And then
I love Solaris.
One of our local homebrewers, Hayden, who we've mentioned a couple times on, and was actually is going to be on the next episode of Will It Brew once that gets edited down.
It's done, actually. I just haven't posted it yet.
Okay. Hayden on Will It Brew has a Solara project going on at his place that is absolutely amazing, and he's been doing that for like a couple of years now. Yeah,
no, he's got a good system, and every one that I've tried, it's been fantastic.
Yeah, I remember when he actually was like, I was doing a brew day over at his place, and he's just like, yep, here's this big bag of cheesy, leafed hops.
Yep. Pamela, so I'm justified in yelling at my husband for keeping herbs in my yes you are. Adam, have you all used hops outside of the Mylar bag but in a Ziploc? I haven't personally, but that's because I've got aluminum lined bags.
CTS is the school, Canadian Career College.
Oh, nice. Yep, it's an online course. Cool.
Yep, and then I just brewed a 10-gallon.
Tell the instructor to reach out to us. We'd be happy to get in contact and talk.
Yeah. Warren, if you're awake, why aren't you here?
Hey, dweebs.
Yep. And then
Melon, thank you so much for the super chat.
Yeah.
Have to head out, going to make some chili.
Ooh,
cheers all. Oh, chili sounds so good.
Yep. And then Sean, I have brewed a 10-gallon Black Butte Porter clone, about 7.5 OG. We split it, and my share split again, so it's in 3.5 gallons now. That sounds awesome. Beersmith has an hop age calculator that you can use to estimate the hop value over time. That's actually really good to know.
Will it brew? Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yep, it's already been recorded.
It's already happening. I just gotta post it. Yeah. Right now, okay, you guys let me know what your thoughts are on this, because right now it's a 30-minute episode, and it gets a little bit more focused on the behind the scenes of what the brewers are thinking. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I'll basically post it as is. And if it's not, if you're like, all right, I really like the 15-minute version, then maybe I'll try to cut it down. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you interested in just having it posted as a 30-minute episode where you get to have the in-depth, or is that too much to think about and you want to have it pared down?
And then Stevie, I finally bought a grain mill so I can crush malts at different sizes I want, and a difference in flavor. What the difference in flavor and efficiency? That's awesome. I need to set up the mill that we bought from you a long time ago at my house. Whoops. Sriracha Ace and an IPA. Also, what other hops complement them? So I like Sriracha Ace. Like, I've used it in a bunch of my beers.
Yeah.
And I actually have used it in an IPA. Oh God, what's the M hop that's like a little bit limey?
Motueka.
That's one I actually like with Sriracha Ace.
Yeah, it's really good in saisons, kind of in general. Frazzle Penguin, thank you so much for the super chat. Someday in the next year, you'll make your way down there from Winnipeg. Do it.
And again, just message me, and I will be happy to show you guys around.
Yeah. On the grain mill crush, whether or not that affects your efficiency and flavor, that's going to be very, very dependent on what system you use. If you're using a brew in a bag, go ahead and just crush it as fine as you possibly can. If you're doing a vertical mash system, then there's a lot of experimentation that you've got to do with, like, when you need rice holes and when you don't need rice holes, and you could probably get by with a little bit less of a fine crush in a vertical filter system.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's very, very, very dependent on what you got going on.
Yep, and then Pamela was talking about the Sriracha Ace. She mentioned Medusa pairs well, or any of the South African hops.
Very true. So they've got very focused flavors. Their total oil content is usually, between 0.05 and 0.5 and 2 micrograms per liter, and that's relatively low compared to like big hops like Citra and Galaxy, but the flavors that they have are very, very focused. And so if you've got a strawberry flavored hop, that's going to be very strawberry, not strawberry with a bunch of other stuff, like a lot of the American hops. So yeah, a lot of the South African hops could be a really, really good pairing because of how focused their flavors are.
And then Daniel says he's fine with ads, but he thinks YouTube payout sucks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You can also use our Amazon affiliate link, or isn't there like a PayPal link down in the description too?
Yeah, there for sure is.
Yeah. And then Warren says, I'm channeling Jess to a Will It Brew.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if
challenging. I think challenging is the what he's trying to do. Maybe, I don't know.
Hey Warren, how many beers deep are you already this morning?
For me, it's this many. I'm making corned beef and cabbage today. Send me some. I love corned beef and cabbage. That's my favorite. I love it.
Daniel, I do think your super chat got blocked, or didn't go through.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. Ooh, yeast portion. Excuse me. Tune in tonight.
Yes.
At 8:45 p.m. Pacific time.
We're gonna be talking specifically about thiols and thiolized yeast and all the stuff that happens with those.
I have some questions.
There's a lot of fun science that goes into the thiol realm.
Well, my big question, my big question is, what other styles of beer besides IPAs will thiolized yeast be good in? Because
for sure.
That is the only conversation I'm hearing when it comes to thiolized yeast is IPAs, and particularly like hazy or juicy IPAs. And I was like, I want to know what else it works in.
Fun bit of insight. We've got a beer coming out pretty soon that uses the thiol yeast in a non-IPA. So it's going to be, there's a lot of fun stuff that comes with using thiols, how they can be used.
I was going to say, Adam says, why not just double crush everything and save all malts?
Good question. That's very system dependent.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you double crush everything, you've got pumps that can't necessarily handle all the sediment that goes into running through your filter. And so if your pumps suck at doing what they're supposed to do, that can be one problem. The other problem is if it's super, super crushed, sometimes you get clumps in your mash that just slafe off water rather than letting it run through them. And so super, super, super crushiness can sometimes not be a good thing depending on your system. But we did do a brew in the bag with, we turned our malt into powder. This is me and Logan,
years ago.
5 years ago or something like that. And we found that we made a pretty good beer just turning our entire batch of malt into flour and then squeezing the grain bag as much as possible.
That might be actually a cool side-by-side to do, is the same batch of beer, but one as a standard crush and then one as that flour.
Yeah.
There. And then, so that might be future ideas. Warren says, that, lol. Warren, you can't. Your phone autocorrect hates you. It sounds relative.
Relative to a beer that I'm about to brew. Excuse me, I'll let my instructor know for sure. We're starting the yeast portion tomorrow. I think you already mentioned that.
Yep.
But let them know, and we'll do some yeast talking because we've got some videos on yeast that are.
And Patrick Standy, yes, live tonight. It is going to be at 11:45 your time.
Yes.
It's going to be late your time.
It's going to be late, but do it. Daniel, 30-minute episodes is not long enough to release the B-hole out. B-hole cut?
Yep. And then...
thank you so much for the super chat, by the way.
And then Pamela says, I've been wanting to play with African Queen. Do you have any recommendations?
African Queen's a great overall use hop. You can use it for an IPA, but that's one of those ones that I really like doing for Saison styles or farmhouse styles, where they've got a flat malt character, a little bit of yeast contribution, but they're not heavily yeast dominant. And then you've got some room for the African Queen to kind of to play with its base flavors. So a Saison, definitely not a Belgian Saison, but maybe a French style Saison or farmhouse ale would be a really fun way to play with African Queen as a dry hop or something like that.
Okay, to answer Sean's question, my brew partner wants to brew a blind pig clone. I've never brewed anything close to this. Any recommendations? I'm going to be honest, I've never had blind pig.
I have. The hop schedule is ridiculous, but it turns out really good. You're going to be doing hop blending, and you're going to be adding additions at, 60 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 12 minutes, 8 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, whirlpool, and dry hop. There's a lot of hop additions that go into it. It's just kind of constantly adding hops. It turns out really good if you do it right.
And to answer the African Queen, Fresh County Ale said, I've had great results in pale ales, which I think is an awesome vehicle for African Queen. And IPAs are great, but just two for bittering.
Yeah.
Just like what Peter said. Ricardo says Italian Pils with Thiles. I haven't done it, but I'm planning to. That is something that we may try to mention to Adam tonight.
There's a lot of ways to use those. Ricardo, thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. Looking forward to the info on Thiles. It'll be a fun topic tonight.
Yep, and I will be very awake, I swear. Adam says, I hear old wives' tales about the natives of squeezing bags. To clarify, I think that a lot of those come from the idea of you're going to get more of that kind of tannins that you can get off of grain.
That's the idea, yeah.
And there might be some science to it. There might not. I don't know, especially at the homebrew scale, if there is enough of an impact.
That's one of the kind of the myths that we tried to bust. It's in theory, the science behind it says that there should be some tannic flavor, some really, really bitter astringent flavor that comes from it. But in practice, what happens is that a lot of those things that cause that tannic flavor, that astringency, they end up binding to other materials during the fermentation and settling out very easily, especially in a flat bottom dish or system like a carboy. And so it doesn't end up being a thing.
Yep. And actually, it's supposed to be butthole cut.
Butthole cut?
YouTube does not like the word butthole.
Yeah. YouTube, start liking the word butthole.
And Warren said, Jesus Christ, autocorrect. So what I just heard is Warren volunteered to do the Wisconsin beer.
All right, perfect.
When we get there is, and it's 8:45 Pacific time, which is 11:45 Eastern time.
Any new hazy hops you guys like? There's a lot of new hops that are out.
I actually just love, when I was home brewing and stuff, whenever Peter got in experimental hops and stuff, I would oftentimes just be like, what's the weird hop that doesn't actually have a name yet that you have that I can steal some of to make a beer?
Yeah. In general, look for if you're looking for a hazy hop, go into the hop list and look for a total oil content over 3 micrograms per liter. Any of those will make really, really crazy good hazies. But you can do it with any hop, depending on volume. But what you're looking for really with new hops that you're trying to try out is that total oil content, because that's that's what makes a hazy a hazy.
And then a tip on hazies is you do not have to hop at all during the boil.
You don't.
You can do it all during the whirlpool and cool down.
Yep.
What
time for tonight?
I already said that.
Yeah, 8:45 p.m.
Pacific time, 11:45 Eastern, and the rest of you who are in the rest of the world, figure it out.
Yeah.
And I will say it is going to be in an it's 8, so 6 hours and 40 minutes from now.
Yeah.
Give
Jeff
or take.
Curtis, okay, advice on my first lager fermentation. Is just about wrapped up after 16 to 17 days. Would it be okay leaving it in the next week before diacetyl rest due to an impending vacation? Diacetyl rest should happen during active fermentation. Diacetyl rest should happen depending on how you fermented, maybe day 7 to 10, somewhere in that range. And then crashing and cold conditioning, that's what happens. That's a long-term storage kind of situation. So diacetyl rest should happen before the yeast is done fermenting.
Yep. So I'm going to be honest, you blew through that window.
Yeah.
But if you cold crash it at this point in time, may not, depending on your practices, you may not get any diacetyl. You may get a little bit, but
depends on your use. Yeah, at this point, if you don't taste diacetyl in it at this point, I don't know if you've tried it, but that would be, I would go straight into cold conditioning.
Well, he still has a little bit of time, but it's definitely near the end.
Okay.
Then I would definitely go into walk with your phone with this YouTube video and go into diacetyl rest.
Yeah, diacetyl first and then cold crash.
Yep.
Make sure there's positive CO2 in there. There's pressure that's built up with your CO2 so that you're, when you cold crash, you don't have oxygen ingress. I don't know what fermenter you're using, but when you cool things down, that's going to invite new atmosphere into your situation. So if you've got a way to positive pressure it, that's the best way to go.
Yep, and then Ricardo says, I thought you need higher temps on mash to extract tannins.
Tannins are a weird thing. Usually, if you've got high alkaline mash, if you've got high temps, and if you've got something like squeezing the bag, all those things combined can cause tannins. In general, what's going to end up happening in the homebrew situation is, all three of those might give you a tannic flavor, but in general, your yeast is going to ferment through the tannins, and it's going to either turn the tannins into something else, or it's going to attach to the tannins and pull them down, and they're going to settle out, and they're going to not end up in your beer. So
yep,
you're right, but also there's more to it.
Also, we are going to be wrapping up soon since we do have another live stream later.
Yep.
And also, I have stuff I need to. I have Dungeons and Dragons at 11, and I want to go get some tea before I go to Dungeons and Dragons.
It's D&D.
You watched too much D&D.
Yeah. Warriors who terrify.
It's
a Stephen Lynch song.
Yep. I was thinking the D&D Beyond theme song.
Oh no.
That was that for a while. Nomad, if you need any Wisconsin ingredients, I'll let you know. I'll hook you up. Well, for our state beers, we're doing cheese.
Yeah.
We're going to make a cheese beer.
Sandy, I just turned 45. I can't stay up that late. Well, just move to the West Coast, and then you don't have to worry about it being late.
And you may not have to deal for your house problems.
Yeah.
Adam says HBC 586 for hazy hop.
Haven't tried it. Maybe I have. I don't know.
It's good. There's so many.
My brain's on a lot of different stuff now.
Daniel did a Nectron Smash beer yesterday. It's pretty good.
Nice.
I was going to say, I'm a huge fan of Smash beers.
Jake says, speaking of foul beers, did you crack from my beer? Not yet, but that might happen tonight, actually.
That's actually probably going to be tonight. I will smell it, Jake. I won't try it, which I'm sad because I always love your beers.
Warren says, yeah, I'm not brewing a cheese beer. Maybe not now. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Frazzle Ping is, I'm also a D&D player. Yep, I was going to say, I'm running one group and I'm playing in a group. Where I'm going today is the group I've been playing in for 11 years.
Adam says, yes, you have. I sent HBC 586 single hop hazy live stream a year or two ago. Perfect.
Yeah.
All teaching is killed too many prints. Yeah, I don't remember everything. I try to.
Have you moved stuff? Warren asked, have we moved stuff? You moved stuff into the brew house yet?
Nope, not yet. Let me know if you want to come and help do that.
I also did take this video to my fermenter. He did follow my instructions.
Nice.
There, Wizards kind. Yeah. I'm not going to get into the whole. Hasbro was more of the issue than Wizards of the Coast. There on that one. So
yeah, D&D, drama.
Yeah.
No.
That was. I will say that the good news on that is that was the first time ever that the D&D community united. Yeah. Against one thing.
Do you guys remember if I sent you a smoked hazy?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I remember that.
And we did, and we definitely drank it. I think
we liked it.
Yeah, I think so. You sent us a couple smoked beers, Daniel.
No.
No, you sent that smoke hazy with me and Warren, so that was almost a year ago.
There's some fun.
When we were over there for the Washington Brewers Fest, which was a blast, and I'm sad that's not happening.
I don't know if the person's on right now, but there's a couple of beers that are in the fridge right now that are like very, very wild. So there's one of them's a tree beer, one of them's like a random pepper beer, and one.
So someone that's a brewer after my heart.
Yeah, no, they're very wild. Yeah, no, Skeletor said boob. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Boobs are pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have some good Pellegrino that could work. How do you feel about adding a small amount of
flaked barley into a lager for a bit of mouthfeel? There's a lot of other ways to get mouthfeel. I'm not against it. I don't think it's the best option, but I'm not against it.
No, yeah. Yep. Yeah. No. I remember because that was also a little bit of a fun live stream scene at the coffee shop with Daniel Warren and me just BSing. So yeah. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up so that way I can drive and get to where I need to and then get back here.
All right, those of you who are on, tune back in at 8:45 PST tonight, and those of you who are not on,
watch the replay of the video and in the comments say came from the morning live stream.
Right. People said, "Cheers, guys! Literally just use flaked barley on a Keller beer." I'm just finishing up. It's not a bad thing. Flaked barley's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I'd probably chit's my favorite. That's what I'm going with. But
I was gonna say I could have probably guessed that.
Yeah.
You mostly like saying it.
I also like saying chit.
Yep.
All right. Well, see you guys tonight, and thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. If you want to support the channel, there's a PayPal link below, and then tune back in. That's the biggest thing.
And then when this video gets posted, comment your favorite sour.
Yeah. Ciao. There's your route.